Picture this: the roaring crowd at MetLife Stadium, the New York skyline glowing in the background, and the air so thick with tension you could cut it with a knife. It was supposed to be just another Week 1 showdown between the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders. But what unfolded on that field was nothing short of jaw-dropping reality-level chaos. From the very first snap, you could feel something was off, players throwing shade at each other with every shove, coaches pacing like their reputations were on the line, and fans in the stands whispering, "Did you see that?" as if they were watching the biggest scandal of the season unfold in real time. But it didn't stop at the game. No, this battle spilled far beyond the scoreboard. Teammates turned on each other, family members stormed out of VIP boxes, and accusations flew like flags on the field. At one point, it wasn't about touchdowns or interceptions anymore. It was about pride, betrayal, and secrets no one ever expected to see dragged into the spotlight. Giants versus Commanders. More like brother versus brother, player versus coach, and loyalty versus fame. Trust me, this isn't just football. This is drama. And you won't believe how it all went down. The opening whistle blew, and what should have been a routine NFL season kickoff instantly turned into something far more explosive. The Giants stormed the field with a kind of raw energy that screamed desperation, while the Commanders carried themselves like a crew that had secrets they were trying to bury beneath every play. At first glance, it was just football sweaty faces under helmets, the clash of pads, the shouts of quarterbacks calling signals, but if you listened closely, there were undertones. Quiet words exchanged between linemen, glares from the sidelines. Even moments when teammates looked like enemies trapped on the same roster. The first spark came early. A simple pass play from the Giants suddenly looked like the beginning of a full-on mutiny. Daniel Jones dropped back, launched a bullet downfield, and just as the receiver caught it, a Commanders cornerback shoved him out of bounds with a force that sent him crashing into the bench. The stadium gasped, but the reaction wasn't just about the hit tip, it was about the aftermath. One of the Giants' assistant coaches leaped forward, shouting at the Commanders' sideline, "You planned that. Don't pretend you didn't." His voice carried, fans close enough heard every word. Suddenly, sideline staffers were nose to nose, referees scrambling to restore order. Players from both benches crowded in, not with the energy of men defending a team, but with the kind of rage you'd see in a family argument where years of bitterness boiled over in a single moment. "Don't talk about planning dirty hits," a Commanders player snapped. "Look at your own locker room first." That line, overheard by cameras, made social media explode almost instantly. Fans weren't just talking about the game anymore. They were whispering about what secrets might be festering inside the Giants camp. On the field, the tension turned personal. Saquon Barkley, usually calm and collected, shoved his own teammate after a blown block, yelling, "How many more times are you going to miss before you ruin this for us?" The cameras caught it, and commentators scrambled to cover it up as competitive fire. But anyone watching could see it was more than that. It was betrayal live on national TV. The Commanders weren't innocent either. During a timeout, their quarterback slammed his helmet onto the bench, screaming at his offensive coordinator, "You promised me protection. You promised me backup. I'm out here alone." His voice cracked, not from the noise of the crowd, but from a deeper wound like trust between him and the coaching staff had already shattered long before kickoff. And just when it seemed like the chaos might settle into ordinary gameplay, a twist yanked the audience right back into suspense. From the VIP boxes, cameras caught Giants owner John Mara standing, visibly furious, shouting into his phone. Next to him, family members tried to calm him, but he shoved them off. "You told me this wouldn't come out tonight," he barked, unaware that lip readers were already analyzing every word. Fans watching at home immediately started theorizing what secret, what deal, what betrayal was unraveling in real time. On the Commanders' sideline, whispers spread that someone had leaked sensitive team drama to the Giants, and the players were pointing fingers at each other. "It had to be you," one shouted at his teammate. "You're the only one who knew." The accused player shot back, "Don't you dare blame me for your mess. You're the one with skeletons." The intensity reached a fever pitch just before halftime. The score barely mattered, but the emotions did. Giants players argued amongst themselves in the huddle, one slamming his fist into the turf after another botched route. Fans could see veins bulging, tears welling in eyes that were supposed to be focused on victory. It was like a family dinner gone wrong, where grudges spilled out in front of everyone, and then came the betrayal no one expected. As the Giants lined up for what should have been a routine field goal, their kicker walked away from the formation. Cameras zoomed in on his face, pale and trembling. He shook his head, muttering, "I can't do this. Not like this." He pulled off his helmet, threw it to the ground, and stormed off toward the locker room. Gasps echoed through the stadium. Teammates chased him, but he shoved them away, screaming, "Ask your captain why I won't play. Ask him." The stadium went silent for a split second and then erupted in chaos. Commentators lost their composure, stammering through what they'd just witnessed. Was this a protest? A personal feud? Betrayal from within? The answers weren't clear, but the drama was undeniable back in the VIP box. Family members were seen in heated arguments. One relative of a player slapped another across the face before storming out. Security tried to intervene, but the cameras had already caught it. Fans online clipped the footage, spreading it like wildfire. Suddenly, it wasn't just a game anymore, it was a scandal stretching across families, locker rooms, and even ownership. The second half was yet to come, but the first had already set the tone. Every whisper, every glare, every shove told a bigger story than the scoreboard. Something deep and dangerous was bubbling under the surface, and everyone watching could feel it. As halftime approached, the Giants trudged toward the tunnel, but their body language told a story of division. One receiver refused to walk beside the quarterback, instead pulling his helmet low and muttering curses. Meanwhile, Commanders players pointed fingers at each other, some refusing to even sit near teammates on the bench. The cameras panned one last time to John Mara in the VIP section. His face red, his hands shaking as he dialed his phone again. His voice, faint but caught on broadcast mics, said, "If they know the truth, it's over. You understand me? It's over." And that's where part one ends, with the game paused at halftime. The stadium buzzing, not about touchdowns, but about betrayal, secrets, and drama that threatened to tear both teams apart. The stage was set. And the second half promised explosions no one could predict. Halftime should have been a chance for both teams to breathe, to reset, to cool down, but instead it turned into the kind of behind-the-scenes meltdown that fans dream of seeing exposed. As the players filed into their locker rooms, cameras picked up muffled shouting from both tunnels. One fan close enough to the Giants' tunnel even recorded audio of a player yelling, "Don't cover for him anymore. Everybody knows he lied." Within minutes, that clip hit social media, and the hashtag #GiantsLie started trending before the halftime show was even over, inside the Giants' locker room. The atmosphere was nothing short of toxic. Saquon Barkley slammed his helmet into a locker and pointed at Daniel Jones. "You don't get to call me out on national TV when you can't even lead us out there," he snapped, his voice echoing through the stunned silence. Daniel tried to defend himself, his face flushed. "I'm not the one bailing mid-game like our kicker. You think I asked for this circus? You think I wanted all of this dragged out?" Coaches tried to intervene, but every attempt at calming the room only fanned the flames. Over on the Commander side, it wasn't much better. The quarterback, still red from his earlier meltdown, refused to sit with his offensive line. "You all left me out there like a lamb to the slaughter," he shouted. One lineman barked back, "Don't put this on us when everyone knows you've been keeping secrets from the team." Whispers filled the air. Secrets about what? Contracts, betrayals, a personal scandal. No one would say it outright, but the tension was like a ticking bomb. Meanwhile, in the VIP section, the chaos was spreading like wildfire. John Mara had vanished, leaving behind stunned relatives and a shaken press box. Reporters speculated that he'd stormed off to confront someone directly. To add to the drama, cameras caught a Commanders executive making frantic phone calls, muttering, "Get her out of there before the cameras catch. Cameras catch." The phrase "get her out of there" instantly set fans on fire with speculation. Who was her? Was there a secret meeting going on behind the scenes? Was this about a player's personal life spilling into the game? When the second half began, you could feel the tension radiating from every player. The Giants came out sluggish, their movements stiff, their communication clearly broken. On one play, a wide receiver ran a completely different route than what Daniel Jones had called, leaving him exposed for a sack. Instead of picking him up, the receiver barked, "That's on you, not me." Fans could see it. The team wasn't just divided, it was crumbling. But then came the Commanders' shocking twist. After a critical third down, their star receiver deliberately dropped a wide-open pass. Commentators gasped it was too clean to be a mistake. The ball slipped through his fingers, but his face gave it away. He wasn't disappointed, he was defiant. Walking back to the huddle, he spat at the ground and muttered, "Now you'll see what happens when you keep lying." Teammates stared at him in disbelief. And one shouted, "You're throwing this game on purpose?" The crowd booed, sensing something bigger than just poor execution. Within minutes, rumors spread that the receiver was retaliating against the quarterback for some undisclosed betrayal. Fans in the stands whispered, "This isn't football anymore. This is a soap opera." Double quotes midway through the third quarter. Things escalated further. A Giants defensive player blindsided his own teammate during a scramble for the ball, tackling him harder than the opponent. He stood over him and screamed, "You're not with us, you're against us." The refs threw flags, but the damage was already done. Social media exploded with clips of the so-called friendly fire, labeling it the betrayal tackle in the stands. The drama spread like wildfire. Families of both teams began openly feuding. One Giants player's wife was filmed yelling at a Commanders family member, "Your guy ruined my husband's career." Security had to step in, but the footage went viral within seconds. The division wasn't just on the field, it had reached every corner of the stadium. As the third quarter wound down, the Commanders found themselves with a chance to take the lead. But just as their quarterback dropped back to pass, his lineman didn't even block. The defense swarmed him, sacking him brutally. Lying on the turf, he pointed at his own teammate and shouted, "You set me up." The cameras caught it, and fans gasped. Commentators hesitated, then admitted what everyone was thinking. It looked like sabotage. On the Giants' sideline, things weren't calmer. Daniel Jones shoved one of his own coaches after a heated exchange. "You knew, and you kept it from me," he screamed, his voice cracking. The coach, red-faced, shouted back, "It wasn't my choice. You weren't ready to know." The words "you weren't ready to know" sent fans spiraling into speculation. What secret had been hidden? Was this about strategy or something much more personal? The quarter ended with both teams more divided than united. The scoreboard practically forgotten. Instead, all eyes were on the unraveling relationships, the betrayals, the whispered accusations. As the players gathered for the start of the fourth quarter, cameras caught one Commanders player mouthing to another, "If this comes out, careers are over." The reply, barely audible but chilling, was, "Then let them burn." The game wasn't just football anymore. It was a battlefield of broken trust, personal grudges, and secrets clawing their way into the light. Fans at home leaned forward in disbelief, asking themselves not who would win, but who would survive the fallout. And that's where part two leaves us, on the edge of the fourth quarter. The stadium trembling with tension, both teams eating themselves alive. And the biggest twist yet looming just out of reach. The fourth quarter began under a storm of tension so thick that even the roar of the crowd couldn't drown it out. Both sidelines were fractured. Both locker rooms had already imploded. And now the final 15 minutes of regulation loomed like the climax of a reality show finale. Cameras zoomed in on players' face, his eyes red, jaws clenched. Sweat pouring not just from exertion, but from fear of what was about to break loose. The Giants took possession first. But their huddle looked less like a team planning a play and more like a group therapy session that had gone off the rails. Saquon Barkley glared at Daniel Jones. "You better come clean before I do," he hissed, loud enough that lip readers caught it instantly. Jones shook his head, his voice trembling. "This isn't the place." Saquon snapped back, "The place. The whole world's already watching. It's too late to hide." The play fell apart before it even began. The offensive line barely moved, and Jones got sacked instantly. Instead of helping him up, his teammates turned their backs. The boos rained down from the stands. One fan even hurled a handmade sign reading "Giants divided" onto the field, on the Commanders' sideline. Things weren't much better. Their quarterback huddled with his receivers, but one of them refused to make eye contact. "You sold us out," the receiver muttered. The quarterback slammed his fist into his chest protector, shouting, "I didn't leak anything." But the tension was so palpable that even the coaches were afraid to intervene. And then it happened. The moment that shifted the game from chaos to full-blown scandal. On a critical third down for the Commanders, the quarterback threw a desperate pass, and his star receiver caught it. Instead of running toward the end zone, he stopped mid-play, turned toward the Giants bench. Cahan shouted, "Ask them about the money," before dropping the ball and walking away. The refs blew their whistles, the crowd erupted, and commentators went silent in shock. "Ask them about the money" instantly became the line of the night. Twitter, Instagram, and even news outlets jumped on it within seconds. What money? Whose money? The game itself seemed irrelevant compared to the sudden revelation that some hidden financial scandal might be at the core of this feud. Back on the Giants' sideline, the fallout was immediate. One assistant coach grabbed another by the collar, screaming, "You told me this was buried." Players tried to pull them apart, but in the struggle, one coach blurted out, "They were paid off to throw it. Everyone knows it." The words weren't meant for cameras, but microphones picked it up. Fans at home replayed it in disbelief. On the field, Giants players stopped mid-play, ignoring the refs. One linebacker confronted his own teammate, jabbing a finger in his chest. "You're in on it, aren't you? That's why you missed the tackle earlier." The accused shoved him back, shouting, "Don't you dare put this on me. I wasn't the one taking money." The refs tried to restore order, but the game had descended into a circus. Commanders players began shouting at each other too, with one lineman screaming at the quarterback, "That's why you were so nervous. You knew this would come out." The quarterback tore off his helmet, throwing it to the turf. "I told you I had no part in it." His voice cracked, eyes glassy with tears. Meanwhile, in the VIP section, John Mara reappeared, storming back to his seat with his face red and furious. Cameras caught him, muttering, "This was supposed to stay buried, damn it," next to him. A woman, reportedly a close family member, covered her face with her hands, sobbing uncontrollably. Fans speculated instantly. Was she connected to the alleged money scandal? Had she been the one exposed? The fourth quarter clock ticked down, but no one cared about the score anymore. Every snap was an afterthought to the drama unraveling in real time. Giants fans began chanting, "Tell the truth." Tell the truth? Commanders fans countered with, "Scandal, scandal." The stadium transformed into a courtroom, the crowd demanding answers instead of touchdowns. And just when it seemed like the drama had peaked, another twist dropped like a bombshell. After a failed Giants drive, a cameraman caught Daniel Jones on the sideline, his head in his hands. Standing over him, Saquon Barkley said the words that froze the broadcast. "You're the reason the team's divided. You took the deal, didn't you?" Jones looked up, his face pale, and whispered, "I didn't have a choice." That single phrase, "I didn't have a choice," sent shockwaves through the stadium. The camera zoomed in, commentators fell silent, and fans at home flooded social media with wild theories. What deal? Who forced him? Was this about gambling, bribery, or something darker? The Commanders tried to capitalize on the Giants' implosion, but even they were too fractured. Their quarterback refused to throw to the star receiver who had staged the earlier protest. "You made this mess," he shouted in the huddle. "You live with it." The receiver barked back, "I'm not covering for you anymore." They lined up for the play. But the miscommunication was so bad that the quarterback tossed the ball to empty space. And the Giants' defense easily recovered it. And the Giants' defense easily recovered it. Yet even the turnover couldn't salvage the Giants. Players on their sideline were openly screaming at each other, some pulling away from the huddle entirely. One rookie was caught on camera throwing his helmet into the stands in frustration. Nearly hitting a fan. With only minutes left, the scoreboard showed a close game. But the real drama was in the unraveling of trust. Commentators admitted they had never seen anything like it. One whispered, "This isn't just about football anymore. This is about legacies being destroyed." And then, in the final moments of regulation, came the ultimate cliffhanger. The Giants lined up for what could have been the game-winning drive. But before the snap, a Commander defender shouted across the line, loud enough for the broadcast mics to catch. "Tell them what you did, Daniel. Tell them before we do." The Giants quarterback froze, his hands trembling on the ball. The play clock ticked down. The refs threw a delay of game penalty. And the stadium erupted into boos. Daniel Jones stepped back from the line, pulled off his helmet, and muttered just one word: "Sorry." His teammates stared at him. The crowd went silent for a heartbeat, and then the noise erupted like an explosion. The game was still technically tied. But in that moment, no one cared about the outcome anymore. Everyone, fans, players, coaches, wanted the truth. And that's where part 3 ends. With seconds left on the clock, Daniel Jones crumbling under the weight of accusations. A scandal about money boiling to the surface. And the entire NFL world holding its breath for what would come next. The stadium lights felt hotter, brighter, almost interrogative as the final seconds of regulation ticked away. The scoreboard meant nothing now. Fans weren't counting down points, they were counting down to the truth. Daniel Jones stood on the field, helmet tucked under his arm, head lowered as boos rained down like thunder. His teammates surrounded him, not in solidarity, but in suspicion. "Say it?" One giant whispered with venom in his voice. "If you don't, they will." The snap came late, rushed, and messy. The Giants ran a play that looked half-hearted, almost scripted. The ball slipped out of Jones' hands, bouncing into chaos. The Commanders scooped it up and ran toward the end zone, but even that moment felt hollow. The stadium's energy wasn't about the touchdown. It was about the look on Daniel's face as he collapsed to his knees, mouthing, "I'm sorry," over and over. The game ended in confusion. The Commanders technically winning, but no one even cared to cheer. Instead, every camera turned toward the sidelines where chaos was erupting in real time. Giants players hurled accusations, not at their opponents, but at each other. "You knew about the payoffs," one screamed. "You took the deal." Another shot back, "Don't act innocent, you signed too." On the Commanders' side, the quarterback shoved his star receiver, yelling, "You exposed us on national TV." The receiver snapped back, "Better me than them. At least I still have my dignity." Teammates pulled them apart. But the damage was done. The cracks had become chasms. And then came the bombshell moment that would define the night. John Mara stormed onto the field, breaking protocol, flanked by security. His face was pale, his eyes wild. He grabbed a microphone from a sideline reporter, his voice shaking as he shouted, "Enough lies. Enough games." Their right, the money was real. Deals were made. But it wasn't what you think. The crowd fell into stunned silence. Fans leaned forward in disbelief. Players froze. Referees exchanged nervous glances. Mara continued, "This league has been hiding the truth for years, and tonight it finally broke open. The payoffs weren't just about wins or losses, they were about control. Who gets to rise, who gets to fall? And my team, my family? We got caught in the middle." His words echoed through the stadium like cannon fire. Commentators scrambled to fill the silence, their voices trembling as they admitted, "We've never seen anything like this." Players from both teams stared at Mara, some in shock, some in rage. Saquon Barkley shouted up at him, "So it's true. You put us through hell for this." Mara, his voice breaking, replied, "I tried to protect you. I tried to keep it buried. But the deal was bigger than me, bigger than any of us. And just when the weight of his confession seemed too much, another twist exploded. From the Commanders' sideline, their owner stepped forward, pointing at Mara. "Don't you dare act like you're the victim. You were in on it from the start. You were the one who signed off on the payouts." The stadium erupted again. Both owners, red-faced, shouting accusations in front of tens of thousands of fans and millions of viewers. Meanwhile, on the field, players huddled in small groups. Some crying, some pacing, some calling loved ones from their cell phones. One Giants rookie collapsed on the bench, sobbing. "My whole career is over before it even began." Another Commander player ripped off his jersey and threw it into the stands, shouting, "I won't play for liars." Security swarmed the field, but the chaos was too big to contain. Fans in the lower rows filmed every second, uploading it instantly. Hashtags like NFL Scandal, Giants Lies, and Commander Betrayal shot to the top of every trending chart worldwide. The game that was supposed to be week 1 of the season had turned into the biggest controversy the league had ever seen. As police escorted the owners off the field, Daniel Jones stepped toward the cameras. His face was wet with tears, his voice hoarse as he whispered, "I did what I was told. I didn't have a choice. But I swear I never wanted this." His confession, raw and broken, played live in millions of homes. Fans watching couldn't decide if he was a victim or an accomplice. The broadcast tried to cut to commercial, but the noise of the crowd, the screaming on the sidelines, and the pandemonium spilling into the tunnels was impossible to hide. The cameras caught one last shocking moment. Saquon Barkley storming away from the field, refusing to walk with his teammates, muttering, "I'm done. I can't be part of this anymore." As the stadium slowly emptied, the questions piled higher than the score ever could. What money? What deals? How many players were involved? And most importantly, what would happen to the Giants, the Commanders, and the NFL as a whole after such a scandal? By the time the broadcast ended, fans weren't talking about the final score. They were replaying every accusation, every whispered secret, every moment of betrayal. Families were torn apart, players' reputations shattered. And the league itself stood on the edge of collapse. Part 4 closes not with a winner or loser, but with the haunting image of a quarterback whispering sorry, an owner confessing under stadium lights, and an entire sport plunged into scandal. The story didn't end when the game clock hit 0. It had only just begun. What a night. What a scandal. What was meant to be a thrilling Week 1 clash between the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders turned into something no fan, no player, and no commentator could have predicted. This wasn't just football, it was betrayal, secrets, confessions, and families torn apart in front of millions. We saw teammates turn on each other, owners expose hidden deals under the bright stadium lights, and players breaking down as the truth clawed its way out. The score faded into irrelevance, replaced by the haunting questions that will linger far beyond this game. Think about it. A quarterback whispering, "I didn't have a choice." A star running back walking away from his team. Owners screaming accusations at each other. And an entire league suddenly under suspicion. Fans were left shocked, angry, divided, and desperate for answers. Was this a one-time implosion, or just the first crack in a wall that's about to come crumbling down? Who else knew about the money? How deep does the conspiracy go? And most of all, what will happen to the Giants, the Commanders, and maybe even the NFL itself after this night of chaos? But now, it's your turn. I want to hear what you think. Were the players victims, or were they complicit? Was John Mara confessing the whole truth, or just trying to save himself? Do you believe this was sabotage from the inside? Or a scandal bigger than both teams? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now and let's get the debate rolling. And don't forget, you were as shocked as we were by tonight's madness. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next jaw-dropping twist in this unfolding NFL drama. Trust me, this story is far from over, and you'll want to be here for every second of it.